Couch to 5K week 6 just ended today. Today was my last run of the week. I'm really loving the program. I've done it before once, and it worked out really well for me. I never had any issues. I didn't have to repeat any weeks or anything like that, and I was a lot more unfit than I am now. Um, I was starting from basically scratch as far as that goes. I was never able to run a mile. Even in school, I was always since about puberty, I had always been overweight and obese. So I was pretty big. It was hard for me to run because I had never run. I never kept up with fitness. I never tried or attempted to work out really. I had tried a couple times, but never really did anything consistent. Sometimes during the summers, I would try to get fit and try some things, but it never lasted more than like a week or two at the most. Um, but with the Couch to 5K, I did that. I lost a bunch of weight. And so I decided to do the Couch to 5K, and it worked really well for me the first time. So it has been about 5 years from this point right now, as of yesterday, actually, since I was able to run around a 30-minute 5K time. Because I was running 30 minutes 3 times a week, and that was my routine. And then I did some, I think, strength workouts on the other days. So I was working out 5 to 6 days a week. And yeah, so around 30 minutes for a 5K. Currently, I had gotten out of the habit. So I had stopped running. I gained some weight back. I'm working on losing it now. But so I was way out of practice. I've been doing some 5Ks since November. It is, of course, April now. I've done about one a month with the exception of March. So in these races, I wasn't able to run very much. I was mostly walking. So my times were in the 40s, 45 to 48 minutes, I think, was around the time that I was coming in at. Um, and yeah, so it wasn't what I wanted. I wasn't really enjoying the 5Ks because I was way out of shape. And they were just not a lot of fun at all. So I decided to try Couch to 5K again. So, of course, the first few weeks were a struggle to get back into it. I felt like I was, not going to make it a couple of times. I almost gave up a couple of times in the middle of a run because it was difficult. Um, and so the first few weeks, of course, we're getting back into it, getting used to it, and those kinds of things. And then when it started stepping up, I think in week 4 is when it started stepping up to like 3 minutes. And I remember thinking, I can't do this. But then I had to remind myself I've done it before, and it wasn't a problem, and I was able to do it. So that really helped me, I think, to get through those tough times, because it really did help that I had done it before and I knew that I could do it. And I knew to trust the program. So, yeah, I had a few weeks where I was worried about being able to make those 3 minutes. And then, of course, week 5, run 3 came along where you run 20 minutes. So, of course, that one is the big one. That's the one that really intimidated me the last time I did Couch to 5K, and that didn't change for this time. So, I remember I ran it with my fiance, and we decided to run together. And I remember it being a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I did run very slow, so I did that on purpose so that I knew that I could make it through without any problems. And my fiance had almost quit when it was time to stop. Um, they were about to quit right at that moment, apparently, when I said stop. So that worked out pretty well for both of us, I guess. Um, it's a little, I guess, intimidating to me that my fiance was able to run it without running practice. Of course, they're a lot more physically active than I am with performing and stuff like that. And being on their feet all day at work. But, it just made me feel like, oh, I really am out of shape. That I had to go through, almost 6 weeks worth of running to get up to this point, as opposed to just being able to jump in and do it. Of course, my fiance said that they would not be running with me again through the program. So it's up to me now. So today was the end of week 6. I went back to the intervals for the first 2 runs of week 6. Um, and I don't know. The intervals felt tougher for some reason. I think I was running a little bit faster, which is good. So that may be why they felt tougher. Because I was like, I know I can do these short amount of time, short bursts of time, basically. So I think that it really put me into this mindset of, oh, I can run a little bit faster or a little bit harder. So yeah, I made it through the first 2, and then today was the 22-minute run. I wasn't actually very concerned about it. A little intimidated because I'd been back to intervals again, and I hadn't run the 20 minutes or around 20 minutes anytime recently. So, but I got back into it. I ran it today. I ran my fastest mile yet, 12 and a half minutes, which isn't that fast. Because I used to be able to run, like I said, a 5K in about 30 minutes, which is about a 10-minute mile. So I still have some improvement to go, but my average was about 13 minutes a mile. So if I keep that up, that means that I would be able to run a 5K in about 38, 39 minutes. So, or 36 to 39, depending upon kind of where I'm at when I get to that point. So I'm excited. Instead of the very last run at week 9 or the end of week 8 when you're supposed to run the 30 minutes, um, I'm actually running the next day. We're doing a 5K. So what I'm going to do instead of doing that run, I'm just going to run the 5K, and that'll be my graduation from the program. So, and then from there, I do plan on continuing to run about 30 minutes 3 times a week. I may use the last run of the app just so I know when halftime is, when I know when to stop, and stuff like that. And then work on, of course, increasing my speed until I can get back to like a 30-minute ish 5K. I don't know if I'll ever get sub 30 minutes. It's hard to say. Um, just because I'm not sure how fast I can actually go. Maybe eventually with time I could. I'm not too worried about it though. I would like, ultimately, a goal of mine would be to run a half marathon. And I know that that's about 2 to 3 hours worth of running, run, walking, or whatever. And that at this moment really intimidates me because that's like 4 times, a little over 4 times what I'm doing right now, and what I'll be doing when I'm done with the program. So 4 to 6 times. And so I'll need a lot of preparation to kind of get there. I know that there's the Bridge to 10K program that I could do after the Couch to 5K. I might work on getting my 5K time down to about 30 minutes before I start the Bridge to 10K, or I might just go right into it. I'm not sure. It really depends on how I'm feeling when I get to that point and see kind of where I'm at. Because I know that running longer distances helps you to be able to run faster for the shorter distances. Like what happened with the intervals, how I increased my speed quite a bit. And for today's run, I increased my speed because I knew, hey, I can do this, and I didn't have to go super slow. I knew that I could take it. So I may go right on to the Bridge to 10K. We'll see what happens. I do still have a couple weeks to think about it. And yeah, like I said, my goal is a half marathon, and I think that would be really cool to be able to check that one off my bucket list. I don't think I'll ever go for like a marathon, just because that is a lot. And that's double a half marathon, right? So I'm not sure if I ever want to go quite that far. But it would be cool to be able to at least get to that half marathon and have that 13.1 sticker that I can put on my car. Just to say, hey, I did this, I accomplished this, I've checked this off the list. So yeah, that's where I'm at with my running journey. And yeah, I guess that's it. Week 6 done. And looking forward to week 7. Bye, y'all.